Okay, today we're going to do some OP typing practice with Niko from Corridor Crew. Let's see. Okay, OP typing practice. So let's look at some videos of Niko and see what we can see. Okay, so what we're going to do is, so we're looking at this wheel here, wheel O typing. Just move that over there. There we go. That's fine. Wheel O typing, and as we see stuff that seems legit, we're going to put check marks next to what we see as we see it, and go from there. So let's see it. So just a reminder, significance is at the bottom, connection is its opposite, certainty is on the left, variety is on the right, and etc. So let's see what do we got here.
Who told you could take all this stuff?
Right. Who told you could take all this stuff? So what does that mean? It's like people are taking stuff. He's not super happy about it. Why? Because he wants more stuff. He doesn't want people to control him. So that's a vote for variety, let's say.
Here in the studio. My biggest plan that I've been thinking about over all Christmas break is building the perfect camera system. To do that.
Okay, so his biggest plan has been to build something in the physical world. So that's building something for himself and physical. Okay.
Camera room, which hasn't been organized in like 2 years.
Okay, so camera room hasn't been organized in like 2 years. So that's, let's say, Demon SI and Demon Organize, let's say. Yeah.
Camera room, which hasn't been organized in like 2 years. Clear it out, get rid of all the stuff we don't need, get all the stuff we do need, and get it accessible, get it placed in the right spot, and make it so anybody can walk in, find whatever they're looking for. Yeah.
We're organizing by category. We got bags, we have rigging stuff, we have camera stuff.
Okay, so now notice what he did there. That one scene, he's just like,
walk in, find whatever they're looking for. Yeah. We're
just doing random stuff. Okay, so skip around more.
Tour of Minnesota and central Wisconsin. TV.
Organized.
It's a new year. We'll share. Like, look at the
Day 3 in.
Yeah, let's look for more Niko. So this video is called Studio Cleanup Turns into Niko's Nightmare. So that sounds like good fuel for a good freak out.
5 gimbals in there to use.
Yeah, just want to practice, you know?
Then take one of the gimbals home. Yeah. Okay.
Videos to do.
How's the cleaning going, boys?
Good. So good, dude. Cleaning up this whole game right here.
It's important to take breaks.
That's true.
We're working hard.
Nick, where's all the stuff?
I think everyone took what they wanted. I just have some lights.
I might sell these. I might give them to somebody who needs them more than we do.
I heard they were free.
Who told you could take all this stuff? Okay. These, I'm trying to get them out of the studio. You already know how to fly drones. We have 4 more drones if you want to fly a drone. Wait, who told you could take all the gear off the table?
Clint did.
Did you tell everybody they could take gear off the table that was all free?
Well, yeah, because I thought we were putting all that stuff is stuff we're going to be donating or throwing away. So it was like, might as well just have people grab stuff.
We haven't even gone through it yet. But like, if you're just gonna give it away, it's like, it'd be pretty sweet to give it friggin' one.
What if there's
You
things
already
I
have like a
want?
one.
There's things I want in that pile, and what if I want them here too?
This gimbal, we have 5 more gimbals in there.
Why can't I just take that one? You guys have 5 gimbals in there.
I have 5 gimbals in there to use.
Yeah, just want to practice, you know?
Then take one of the gimbals home that we will use. That way you're practicing with the gimbal that we will use. We're trying to get rid of this stuff.
So I can't have this?
I can't get anything.
Personal use only. It's for training. See, it's impossible to pull it.
Carmichael, I didn't say you could have this camera. I feel bad for you. You can have this.
Dude, that's a pity router. You're gonna.
Stop fighting, please. It's stressing me out.
When you are done with that room, I will go through this table and I will separate things into what people can take and what people can't take.
Okay. He organizes, he decides. That sounds like significance and some control. But he's also doing, you know, a bunch of playing.
I gotta collect all this gear back. Hang out the... Taking it back. Wait, what?
Yeah, I was told it was open.
Who told you that?
Carmichael told me that you said that was good to go.
He was on the get rid of table because he didn't have to go through it and figure out. Bring it here.
Right, he wants people to understand.
This is my.
But like also not wanting to exert the energy to actually explain.
Bring out your dead gear bell. This is not in the giveaway pile. This is on the table because we're just trying to take it out of the camera room. Wait, Jake, if you need a light, we have lots of great lights. Garrett, not you too. What?
Ren said take it all.
Look, everyone, I promise that once I go through the table, all you guys can descend on it like madmen, especially you, Ren.
Final stretch. Just making sure everything's all good and organized for the official walkthrough.
The board of directors.
Board of directors meeting, yes. I'm so OCD about everything, man. At a good like 50% right now. Like my OCD meter is always at an 80. I just realized that, man, because no matter how clean it gets, let me walk you guys through. Here we go. This is the battery station.
To all the stuff.
Okay, let me give you guys a walkthrough.
Half of our stuff's missing.
True, most of it was trash. Let me walk you guys through. Here we go. This is the battery station where you will find your batteries. Your red parts, your rigging, your filters and rings. This is the net.
There, and it's gonna fall over and hit the keyboard.
We got a little bit of space. Doesn't mean we have to fill the space.
So I have a philosophy that good organization means that somebody who's never been in this room before knows where to get something and also knows.
Aha. Somebody that's never been in this room before knows.
Where something goes without having to ask anybody. So Gabe
Without having to ask anybody.
hasn't been in this room since Clint cleaned it.
I believe in you. I believe.
All right, Gabe, I would like you to put these 2 things away. Where do you think they go?
Yeah!
If I could do it, and then we can do it.
Gabe, incredible success. Can you please get me a hard drive reader?
You've done such a great job organizing this room. I'm so proud of you. Great.
With everything organized, knowing where all our gear is, knowing exactly what we have, I am ready to build the perfect camera.
Oh, this is super cool. Actually, I don't. I think. I don't think I can repair that.
Here we go, guys.
But this, you know,
I'm taking this.
you know a lot about one wheels. Can you help me?
perfect camera is to steal a page from GoPro's playbook. Let's shoot a little short scene. I'm gonna go from setup to setup, the same camera, in the same configuration with no downtime. Here we go.
You've done it, Niko.
Okay. That's interesting. His point was he wants to go without having to stop. That was interesting. I'm gonna go from setup to setup to camera in the same configuration with no downtime. Okay, so that's a vote for play.
You've done it. Back in 2009, I moved out to Los Angeles with Sam, and we would go to film sets and we would laugh at their tech because it's old, clunky, heavy, and inefficient. It needed a whole team of people.
Old. That's a vote for variety. Laughing at them. That means we're better than them. We know what's up. What does that mean? Is that significance? Yeah.
Just to do a simple shot, because we were a bunch of computer nerds, and we had applied our computer nerdistry to our camera technology with these sleek little digital things that could do things that the big boys didn't think we could do. But you know what? I've been resting on my laurels the past couple years.
Yeah, we can do things the big boys didn't think we could do. That's some tribe versus self, us versus them kind of jazz.
The cinema world, well, they caught up to us. They got real nerdy also. We've lost our edge. Now they're doing things that we can't do with little packages that we don't have. It's time to fix that. I'm going to reapply my nerdistry. I'm going to reemerge from the womb of camera tech, and I'm going to build the perfect camera.
Okay, he's finally going to build something. So he's been going all this time. Now he's going to build. They've been relying on their variety and their new, and now they're going to build.
Now there's so many options here, and I'm all jazzed up about trying to figure out how I'm going to make this work.
Okay, so many options. I'm so jazzed up. New. Yes.
Has agreed to work with us on making this perfect camera build. They want to see what it looks like. They want to see what does a perfect camera mean. Now, we've worked with them a couple years here, and they're going to be hooking us up with the various pieces of gear that we need. But here's the problem. I don't know where to start. I'm going to gather up all the guys.
I don't know where to start. That's a demon blast of I need to consume first before I can go.
Guys, we're going to sit down and we're going to figure out just what you need in a camera package. All these little details.
So, his go-to strategy first, he's going to consume. He's going to figure out what you need.
Never think about what makes a perfect camera. 13 plus stops of dynamic range. So that rules out.
Okay, so now he's not just going over. He's not just consuming new. He's oops. Yeah, so that's not consuming new. First, he's going to go over his known information for himself. Okay, so that is his number one. His go-to strategy is to make a list of his known information. So he's organizing it physically.
A lot of cameras right there.
5K. The perfect camera allows you to make mistakes.
Aha, but he's also gathering in from the tribe.
A good wireless follow focus, right?
Control it with the internal lens motors.
Okay, so now he's not just going over his known information for himself, he's consuming all of the different ideas from everybody. He's getting ideas from everybody, consuming all of the various options from everybody.
The technology exists. Let's use it. I think PL lenses.
The technology exists, let's use it. That's more vote for variety. If it's out there, let's get it and use it. It's not, let's focus in on narrow down, and it's like, if it's out there, let's use it, let's get it.
Are a byproduct of dinosaur cameras.
No, bro.
Okay, that's more, more no old bad. But also that was some F talk.
Built-in ND filters.
It has to shoot raw. I want to make as many mistakes on set as possible.
It needs to be smart RAW. Red's R3D. Blackmagic RAW is also smart, high bit rate.
It needs to have a monitor.
Daylight bright.
Yeah, right.
Yes, right.
Good look out of camera. Bluetooth audio for monitoring.
Yeah, wireless.
So this is interesting. So the ideas and the thinking, the list is coming from them, and he's giving the values. That's interesting. So he's totally happy taking in ideas from the tribe. He has no problem with this at all. Me personally, if it was me, I'd go alone and figure it out my own dang self. I don't want to hear anybody else's opinions. But he has no problem taking ideas from everybody. But, you know, save your demon, I don't know. So this is, like, not that.
Video village.
Less than 10 pounds.
Less than 20, dude.
No, because gimbals can't hold 20 pounds. Sound
Oh, that was good.
into camera wirelessly. So I want the camera to be able to instantly pop off one thing, pop into another thing.
Something that can be put down easily.
Able to set on ground.
Good thermal management.
Low light. Waveforms. Audio levels while rolling.
So another thing is, like, he's totally chill doing all of this stuff with the tribe. Like, learning with the tribe, that's play. He's going with everybody. Yeah, his go-to strategy was to start here. Let's start by playing with everybody. Everybody get in a room. It's not just me by myself figuring out my own self. It's like, okay, everybody get in the room. Let's brainstorm ideas together. Let's gather in all the ideas across the spectrum from everybody. And what he's bringing to the table is, well, he's bringing everything, because, you know, everybody does everything.
No microphone. Wheels, knobs, sticks.
You have to, it's a gas-powered camera.
The next thing to do is to talk about what tools can actually achieve this. And
Now, why is he the one at the board writing all this stuff? Because it's his goal. It's his thing that he wants to build. This is his baby. But his go-to strategy is to go to the people to figure it out. So that's interesting.
Can we actually build this perfect camera? The real key to the perfect camera is to steal a page from GoPro's playbook. GoPro.
Okay, so the real key is to steal somebody else's ideas. It's not to come up with our own ideas and we're better than them. Our ideas are better because of our reasons. It's like, we're just gonna steal their reasons.
Basically just makes a small cube of a camera, and you can put that cube into any rig you need. Do you want it on your forehead? Do you want it on a tripod? Do you want it in a gimbal? Do you want it on a drone that falls out of the sky? All of these.
Let's list all the ideas and have fun with it.
Solutions and more can be yours when you use the GoPro system, and I was inspired by that. So I got this shoulder mount here. This is called a dovetail mount. It's like a wedge, and you slide a plate on top of it, which I learned is called a bridge plate. A piece of metal.
All right,
It's kind of
this is blast right here.
cut like this, with some screws in the top. Slides on. More than half the price of the shoulder rig for a stupid little plate. The companies had all the features you'd want in a camera. You would never have to buy another camera. Big camera, man. And the idea is that I have the bridge plate, and on top of that I have an adapter for the quick release plate that goes on our tripod. Fluid head. putting the camera on this is going to cost me $850.
This does not look like the face of a man who wants to spend $850 to put the thing on the thing. But can you understand what he's talking about? Like, is he being all impossible to understand, or is it like, oh, I totally understand what you're talking about?
Here, this is called a dovetail mount. It's like a wedge.
Okay, this is called a dovetail mount. He gives the specific name while showing the specific thing. Boom. That's sensory. Oh, you know, whether it's SI or SE, I don't know.
And you slide a plate on top of it, which I learned is called a bridge plate. A piece
Okay, so more specific details.
of metal that's kind of cut like this, with some screws in the top. Slides on. More than half the price of the shoulder rig for a stupid little plate. Companies had all the features you'd want in a camera. You would never have to buy another camera. Big camera, man.
And more playing and being silly.
And the idea is that I have the bridge plate, and on top of that I have an adapter for the quick release plate that goes on our tripod fluid head. Putting the camera on this is going to cost me $850. I got all this different gear in, I'm gonna try it all, and then once I figure out exactly what we need, I'll hold on to that.
Okay, I've got all this different stuff. I'm going to try it all. That's some play right there. I've got all this stuff. I'm going to play with it. I'm going to try everything myself right now. I'm not going to think it through first. I'm just going to try it.
And we'll be all set. And we never had a base plate for it. Now we do.
That was some SF appreciation for the physical.
Here it is. Off, on. Hold it down. Ideally, we just have the camera built permanently, and we don't have to continue building it all the time.
Okay, so that's more sleep. Like, ideally, we have it built. We don't have to keep building it. We don't have to keep expending energy all the time.
The side handles will be attached to another quick release plate. Getting there. If you guys want, there's a link in the description below to all the gear we used. Go check it out.
Our old brain with the new Gemini sensor.
They used to be on the Helium, which was 8K. The Gemini is 5K, and you might be like, "What? That's a downgrade." Psych! It's a lateral move.
It has
It's like he has no problem giving more specific details. So that's not... So I'm going to go out on a limb and say his sensory is masculine. Masculine. Alright, masculine sensory.
much better low light sensitivity and dynamic range. I haven't screwed those all in yet. But, oops. What's fun about these red cameras is...
Dude, now you can shoot 240 frames per second in like regular light. Problem. Trying to control the focus on your camera.
Okay, what's the problem? Trying to control is the problem.
With the hand on the lens, not only destabilizes your camera, very often you don't have an extra hand to put on the lens. If you're shooting on a gimbal, no good. You want to have both hands to stabilize the camera. Solution: wireless focus pulling. Not using your phone, not using Wi-Fi, but using good old-fashioned radio control. No, I don't
Good old-fashioned.
regret making fun of those antennas.
Okay, wait. That was interesting.
On your camera with the hand on the lens, not only no good phone, not both hands to stabilize the camera. Solution: wireless focus pulling. Not using your phone, not using Wi-Fi, but using good old-fashioned radio control.
Okay, so that's more F-talk. Good, old-fashioned, it's good. It's bad. This is better than that. That is better than this. It's not giving 1,000 reasons. His punchline is the value.
No, I don't regret making fun of those antennas.
Okay, so in the past he made fun of antennas and now he regrets it, but says that as a joke. I'm not sure.
This unit lets me pull focus without having to touch the camera or the lens. I don't need a rail, I don't need a motor, I don't need a whole bunch of cables. It's literally just a camera body, a lens, and this little thing that goes right on the side of the camera body as if it was part of the camera to begin with. I needed a way to control the camera, so in the past it'd be a touchscreen. And if I took the touchscreen off and replaced it with a small HD monitor, which is wonderful, I would then use the side handle controller, which has a little D-pad and enter button, and it was actually pretty great, because a touchscreen is cool, but you really don't want finger smudges all over your screen at the end of the day.
Is it working?
Working?
Yeah, look at that.
And that's just using the servo motors in the lens?
Mm-hmm. No cables, no rails, no motors. I've been waiting years for something like this. Problem. If you're operating camera and your friend is pulling focus, well, now you don't want them just breathing in your ear, looking at the monitor like how Carmichael's demonstrating right now with the camera. You want them off on their own with their own monitor. It needs to be wireless. You give them wireless focus, give them wireless video. This is the small HD Bolt 500. This is the RX, and this is the TX. That stands for transmitter and receiver. This is a wireless monitor system. Lets you mount a monitor to your camera, and it transmits wirelessly to a second monitor. Oh, thank you, Small HD. Problem.
That was interesting. His punchline was very, thank you, very expressive of feelings, not just more reasons.
If I want to listen to my camera audio, I look like Carmichael does right now, with cables all over the place. Solution. I just got a cheap little Bluetooth adapter that I put on the camera, and now I can hear what I'm hearing with these headphones. It's great. Bluetooth. Oh boy.
It's great.
Why isn't that being built into cameras? Now my other friend, who's getting audio, can also be wearing Bluetooth headphones, and he can hear exactly what he's getting. Problem, you used to have to use XLR cables to run audio to camera. Solution, we're using the Sennheiser G4 system, wirelessly sending audio from our boom to our camera, or records into the camera. You need really good lenses. You do need really good lenses. We use the Sigma lenses, the Sigma Art Series lenses. They're like Canon L Series lenses, but even better. That's right.
But even better. They're like this, but better. And more SI. More details. I mean, well, I don't know if it's SI or SE. It's S. Anyway. I need somewhere to put all my S. I guess it must be SI Blast if he's effortlessly expressing this stuff. I don't know. Getting a lot of, so far I haven't gotten anything for FE, anything for NI. NI would be like planning and my plan for the future, my, you know, whatever. Lots of variety, lots of S. This SINE, as his beard would suggest. Or is it NISE? Although we haven't really seen much example of that. I mean, he's definitely got the variety deal going on. I don't know.
Right. Canon L Series lenses are nice. Sigma Art Series lenses are nicer.
Okay, that's more value. Value on top of value.
GoPro basically just makes a small cube of a camera. And you can put that cube into any rig you need. And I built this system to work with that.
So here's an interesting thing. Like, what is he showing off? What is he proud of versus what is just completely natural and not interesting to him? What is natural and not interesting to him is that Well, I mean, he's somewhat proud of being ahead of everybody else, but like the way that he just goes out and knows about all this stuff, knows about all the newest, latest, and greatest stuff. He just knows about it. Like, where did he learn this stuff? Who knows? He isn't showing us, look at how I figured this out. I'm like, no, he just knows it. Doesn't care. It's just obvious to him. Of course he knows it. What's he's showing off is, look at what I built. I built this thing. In reality, I put it all together. And then what he's talking about is a lot of values of this is better than that, and these, and all here's all the technical details, and this is better than that. And this is great, that sucks, etc.
I've made the perfect camera. This is the core of the camera, right? It's not really ergonomic whatsoever, but I can go into handheld mode right here. Now I'm handheld. The best handheld rig I've ever made. Immediately, boom, we are live and we are in the shoulder monitor. Notice I'm going from rig to rig without changing a single thing on the camera. Oh, getting my sliding shots. There it is. Wow, I'm on a tripod. Adding a third leg kept it from falling over. Right? Gimbals. Gimbals are the future. They make things super stable. So I found this gimbal. This is the Letus Helix. Notice
Gimbals of the future, they make things super stable.
the way it's designed. They've made it really compact where all your 3 axes are built in here, right in the center. So you can take it and you can set it down. All right, so now you see me take this camera and move it from rig to rig to rig to rig. You can take the battery off. Outside of that, I don't have to change a single thing on the camera here. Pop it into here. The gimbal itself powers the camera, which saves me weight, which is awesome.
Saves me weight, which is awesome. More value.
There it is.
Reasons and value, though. Saves me weight, which is awesome. I need a better way to organize my stuff.
I got a gimbal. It works great. I know, I hear what you're saying. But Niko, if you change lenses, you gotta rebalance. You're right. I only have to rebalance forwards and backwards because I kept the lens in line with the roll axis. So all I have to do is, if it's too front heavy or too back heavy, slide it forwards and backwards, and that's it. Somebody being able to wirelessly pull focus. And somebody being able to wirelessly monitor. And somebody being able to wirelessly pump audio into it, or somebody can wirelessly hear the audio. It's exactly what you need on a gimbal. And I don't have to worry about suddenly having to strip my camera apart or having a B camera or a C camera on any of these other rigs. All I have to do at the end of the day, when I go back to another rig, is pop this off. And I can put the camera wherever I want. E and H has helped make this all possible. If you guys want to see any of these pieces I'm using, want to buy any of them for yourselves, check out the link in the description below. It goes to a site. B&H built us a web page for this setup. Let's shoot a little short scene. I'm gonna go from setup to setup.
That stuff from B&H.
There's already a battery in here, so it should be okay. And signal.
Test test. I'm a perfect camera. I'm also a perfect camera. All day.
We need to be pulling a iris rack.
Yeah.
So,
Boom.
1, action. Switching rigs and putting it on the tripod. The perfect camera lets me concentrate on what really matters, keeping Clint and Sam from goofing off too much. All right, tripod.
That's some blasts. Stopping them, controlling them.
Hey, the crew and the cast is gone.
See guys, this is what I need. This kind of a camera rig.
Everyone's gone.
So you're gonna set down, so in action you set it down, and you open it up, and then you pull the light out, you're like, wow.
Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. Wow.
That was great, that was great. We got it. Good job, guys. I feel great. Honestly, the rigs worked awesome. The gimbal worked great.
Lots of value talk. Awesome, great. I mean, he's giving plenty of reasons also, but it's just like constantly peppered with value statements.
Swapping the camera from handheld to shoulder mount to slider was all awesome. Shoulder mount was super convenient, honestly, doing dialogue. Slider looked really nice. Being able to not worry about
Yeah, nice. Whiskey makes it really hard to blast clearly.
focus and just let Nick handle that was super cool. Yeah, I'm really, honestly, super happy. If any of you guys out there
Honestly, super happy.
are budding filmmakers or seasoned filmmakers, honestly, it doesn't really matter what range you're at. If you'd like to check out our kit, head on over to the link in the description below. B&H has made a webpage just for us. It shows all the things here. So you can get yourself.
Okay, I'm bored. Da, 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 da.
Do you think it's possible for somebody to shoot an arrow and another person with a sword to chop it in half? Oh!
If you do it, I'd be more than impressed.
Yeah, he's trying random stuff. That's kind of play-y.
Our lives are on the line.
Okay. It's probably easier with the mouse. Let's see.
Do you think it's possible?
Okay, so let's go back to their channel.
Look at that neck! Dude, look at that neck snap! Ah!
Let's just have a Robert stories about being a boss and how I try to be a boss in a unique way, my own unique way. Because I didn't go to business school. I went to art school. But here I am running a company along with Sam and Jake that employs 5 to 6 to 7 more people at a minimum, if not more, when we get really busy.
If anyone is able to make an oil painting of this with the text "Our founders," that's the dream. You can Google that. You just type Sam and Niko into Google.
Let's ask Engraver's Dungeon if they can make us that.
But it's gotta be oil.
What?
Sam, you got an oil painting, dude.
An oil painting?
Is this what I think it is? I'm pointing the knife away from everyone.
It's in a package.
Request fulfilled.
Someone
Open
Let's do an oil painting. Open ASAP. Oh, it's a wax stamp.
That is class right there.
Mirror Camper, the Mirror Camper clan.
Craig.
Craig, you are getting
What'd
love.
you do, Craig?
Craig, what'd you do?
Craig, you're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, dude. This is only the
Make me cry. Peterson was.
True. Jake, and I see nicer. I was visiting my wife's family last week, and they're asking me about what I do for a living. I do a very unique thing for Christian, Ren, Gabe. All of us are able to eat and rent our apartments, buy video games because of you guys. So thank you.
Okay, that's interesting what he listed. Okay, because of you guys, we're able to eat, rent our apartments, buy video games. So that's some consume talk. Right there, the buying video games. So far, this side of the board is kind of getting a lot more filled in than this side of the board. So my guess at this point would be, let's see. I'm gonna go with let's use the other tool. Optcoin. So my biased guess for him was, ENFP because of the, because he looks like one, honestly. And the first video I saw of him was the 3D Catan board deal, which I have a separate video about that. So let's see. So NEFI, masculine sensory, feminine extroverted decider, and then introvert extrovert. That's my guess. How does that hold up? Yeah, he's doing blast the least out of all this stuff. I mean, he's doing it. He's totally doing it. But seems like he's doing everything else more. Definitely is not missing sleep. He's definitely an energy guy. So he's not missing sleep. He's definitely on this axis, play, sleep, energy, which makes him either, this fourth or this fourth. Now, is this guy consume fourth? No, he's just not. Is he blast fourth? Possibly. Let's look at other people that kind of fit that bill. Okay, so here's the OP kind of deal. Let's see. So NEFI, consume, play, blast, or consume, sleep, play, something like that. Let's see, consume, sleep, play, NEFI, or FINE actually. He seems pretty double decidery. I mean, double observery. I mean, I haven't seen him freaking out about people issues at all, but I haven't seen him freaking out about thing issues at all, and there's plenty of opportunities to be freaking out about things. Well, he did have that one kind of rant about the 3D. Let's look at that.
Constantly because of that. It used to be that you'd upgrade things to fix them. Now things are just constantly breaking. Then you sit there and you spend half an hour figuring it out, troubleshooting. And at the end of the day, you just want to create. Like, I just want to do my effects.
That is kind of a thing rant. So yeah, let's see, NEFI. Consume, sleep, play. That's my guess. Okay, let's consume, sleep, play. Here we go. So use energy. Okay, so NEFI, consume, sleep, play. That's like Weird Al. There we go. Yeah. Not exactly the same as Weird Al. That's funny. Yeah, ooh, look at that brush go. Ooh, got kind of gnarly there at the end. Ooh, that's sweet. Excuse me while I play with brushes a little bit. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do I know, right? He does seem like he's definitely has the super chill vibes, right? He's not, he doesn't have that "let me tell you a million miles an hour" kind of vibe of the of the play blasts. But he also does kind of have the go 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 forever vibe of once he gets started, he can go 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 because play and blast right next to each other, even if they are demons.
On the computer. I just want to edit, but I end up spending 20% of my time every time I sit down just troubleshooting stuff. But you don't have to troubleshoot paint, you don't have to troubleshoot paintbrushes. There's no glitches, there's no errors, there's no internet connectivity required, there's no DRM, there's no signing in, there's no loss of internet connection. It's just you and the paint in your hands. And it's such like a calming, quiet thing to do. To not really be productive for once, just to do something analog, but still make something that captures your imagination, that feels like it's art. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all my lens.
Okay, so oops, it could be that. Let's see. What are the options? What are all the options? I'm not getting any NI. Sorry, I'm not getting any SENI vibes, but that could just be my biases. So let's just say that I don't know what his observers are. Like, I don't know if he's any SI or what. I'm gonna go observer. Well, let's just delete that. Let's go with observer, self above tribe, gather above organize, but he has a lot of organized vibes. Like, that is highly activated. It's definitely a feeler. Just, I mean, he's reasons, feeling. It's like the impact is always a feeling. That's the punchline. Let's see, intuition versus sensing. Like, he's doing sensing out the wazoo. Lots and lots of sensing. But he seems like he's not organizing the concept so much as he's organizing the stuff. He's organizing the thing. It's like what he was building was physical. And so he's gathering in all the concepts, all the possibilities, all the abstract, and then organizing what is literally there. So I'm going to go with Savior NE FI, which is, what my bias said based on his beard, which is, completely the wrong way to type, but, whatever. It is what it is, right? And then sleep versus play. He just does not have the yibby skibby consume play vibes. What would that look like? Consume play. Any FI consume play. What would that look like? Well, we don't have anybody. Well, consume play blast. That's like Owen Cook vibes. And the general, like, that's high blast though, so he definitely doesn't have as high a blast. He's not constantly teaching like Jordan Peterson or Neil deGrasse Tyson or even Owen Cook. It's like he's doing it. He's definitely not doing it. But it's not the thing that he's just constantly doing. So I'm going to guess that he's in here the same as Weird Al. Or maybe here. Like, I can't really be sure. So let's check the clock. Let's check the animal clock, see what the difference is between these two things. Let's see, it's consume play versus consume sleep. Okay, so it's consume sleep play versus consume play sleep. Okay, so these are the consume sleep plays. I mean, he's kind of a yibby skibby kind of guy. Sort of. I mean, this guy's going constantly. Now, he's got to have high SI, because he's just like, he's rocking it with the double observing, right? He's not all in on his observer, his top observer. Like, these guys. But he's also, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with consume sleep play. I know it's my biased guess, which, I'm not allowed to do that, but I just don't see any evidence that, I guess, what do we do to see play over sleep? Let's go to the board here. Play versus sleep. Do I have anything for that? I don't. Okay, so yeah, I do a little bit. So is it hard for him to stop himself? Is he expending all of his ammo ASAP and then crashing later? No. This guy is preserving first, expending later. Yeah, he's keeping his ammo in reserve, and then he has an excess at night. Yes, actually there was that video where he was still going at the end of the day and everybody else had left because he had preserved throughout the day and he had excess energy to go later on in the night. That's interesting. He does learn from people in real time, but he also learns from researcher alone. Like, he came in with all this already known stuff that he got from somewhere. Like, they didn't film the part where he's learning all this stuff. We just saw the result. So he came in already knowing all this stuff, all the details, all the technical mumbo jumbo of camera stuff and whatever. But he's not missing play. I mean, he's not missing blast either, right? He's doing everything. He's organizing other people. He's organizing in an almost savior state. But, so let's drop him in this quadrant thing and see where he lands. Is he up here? Is he, like, addicted to blast? Addicted to certainty and connection? No, he is not any of these people. Is he addicted to consume, which is significance and variety? It's like, well, he's not that, right? What about this? Is he addicted to building for himself? It's like he's doing it, but it's like as a project he planned, because he's not doing it day in, day out. It's, you know, new, build. He's go, build. He's not any of these people. But what about these, the go-goers? He's not just running around constantly killing himself. He doesn't have this validate me vibe like all of us weirdos do. So that leaves only kind of this quadrant. Oh man, what did I do? Okay, so it's definitely in the consume quadrant, I'd say. But now, is there a chance he is SE? NI side of things? See this? Does he have like this mastermind plan for the long term? He's organizing these concepts and this plan for the future, and then sharing his organized concepts, or is what he's sharing organized data and organized sensory data? Like, he seems to effortlessly give you all the specifics of the camera jazz.
I digress. And I was talking to them about an issue that we had. The VFX for PUBG fell behind schedule. It honestly wasn't up to the quality that I was expecting, at least initially. Behind schedule and under quality tells me there's some issues. So I need to fix it. I need to talk to the team. But what I've discovered is if you just approach people and and you yell at them like, "This could be better. You fucked it up. You should do better." Like, you'd say it nicer, but the message is still the same. That doesn't get you results. Maybe for a day or two, people work harder if you're staring over their shoulder. But that's not how I do things here. I need people to be motivated. I need people to want to do the best.
So that's interesting. His strategy is not to control people from the outside, is to motivate them from the inside. So that's a very interesting strategy. I mean, there's not one better than the other. Well, that seems like anti-blast vibes and more focused on other people's internal motivations.
If you have people wanting to do their best, you're going to get good results. But you're not going to get people to want to do their best if you yell at them and tell them they're doing a bad job. So I need to
Right, so he's not... Yeah.
get the VFX team to change their working style, change their attitudes, and be motivated. And to do that, rather than yelling at them and telling them what they did wrong, I need them to tell me what they did wrong.
Interesting. So his go-to strategy is to gather in, is to force them to tell him what's going on. That's a very interesting strategy.
Because change comes from inside the person that wants to change. You can put
change comes from inside the person that wants to change. That's good insight. Because it's true, you know, you can, if you control people from the outside, you will get obedience in the immediate term. And, you know, that's how they do things in the military, is they reach the inner self by starting with the outside. But, you know, his go-to is to kind of avoid controlling the outside and go directly to the inside. That's interesting.
Put outside pressure on somebody and they might flex a little bit, but if I want them to give it their best and make that stuff shine, just like I'm trying to make these bows shine, they need to be the ones discover and explain and change the mistakes that were causing them to fall behind schedule and fall behind the quality level I set in the first place.
Yeah, dude, tell me this is oil painting. Tell me it says.
Skipping all the fun with the oil painting.
Envisioned it, but Craig, thank you, man. Craig, it's the best painting ever. What happened?
So it's interesting, this guy's kind of falling in the background and allowing other people to speak most of the time.
The best players in the world are going to a PUBG tournament this weekend. They happen to be different people, us and the best players, but we will both be there. What is this tournament, you may ask? Well, it's the 10 Gig Festival in Chattanooga, Tennessee. From 3 Saturday stream on. Yeah, maybe.
There's always.
I play video games for a living.
I was explaining some of these frustrations to Ivy's family, how I was going to fix them. And, you know, they asked me, like, what are you going to do? I was like, well, there's always things at play. Because I try to be understandable. I try to be empathetic. And I try to also hold people to certain expectations.
Interesting.
Play video games for a living.
I was explaining some of these frustrations to Ivy's family, how I was going to fix them. And, you know, they asked me, like, what are you going to do? I was like, well, there's always things at play. Because I try to be understandable. I try to be empathetic. And I try to also hold people to certain expectations.
So he tries to be understanding. So he tries to accept whatever is real. So accepting whatever is there, that seems like a variety first. Of course I'm going to accept whatever's coming at me and not control first. Of course I'm going to accept variety first and then try to understand it.
A team needs a manager. If you have people, and, you know, they asked me, like, what are you going to do? I was like, well, there's always things at play. Because I try to be understandable.
I try to be understandable. I think what he means by that is he tries to be understanding.
I try to be empathetic.
Tries to be empathetic. Got it.
And I try to also hold people to certain expectations.
I also try to hold people to certain expectations. But that's like this, that, and then that.
A team
and he tries to do it, he doesn't necessarily succeed.
Needs a manager. If you have people working with you on something, they need somebody to lead them in how to do it. But what I don't want to spend my time doing is checking up on them and making sure it's all happening. I want somebody to put in the effort and have the desire to do the best damn job they can. So his family asked me, like, how did I learn that? Where did that come from? And that actually really made me pause.
So his go-to strategy is not to immediately mention the answer, is to, that made him pause. So he stopped first.
Because I didn't learn it in a class anywhere, and it's just something I had an innate sense of when I started doing this. Part of it's coming from my father, who runs some businesses, and talk about the challenges he faced. I guess those lessons kind of stuck with me, or at least those challenges he was dealing with. People do things for a reason.
People do things for a reason. People have their own reasons, naturally.
And if you can understand why they do things...
If you can understand why they do things. So if you can understand the why, boom.
And approach them on that level.
Okay, approach them on their level.
It's so much easier to connect with somebody.
So much easier to connect.
It leads to actual change. And it leads to me not having to be there to then stare over their shoulder every day like a teacher. Because that's not...
You're not staring over their shoulder every day like a teacher, so not blast.
How people work, and that's really not respectful of the people
Sure, it's not respectful of people. That's his excuse for not doing that thing
around you. And you gotta just push them. You gotta push them to tell you what's going on, and you can't take bullshit. I think the only negatives that would come from this is if somebody was working here who didn't quite want to be here and just had to be here for a paycheck, which we are in a position.
So the worst thing would be if somebody's internal motivation was based on reasons and not feelings. He wants people to want to be here because of their feelings.
Where it's never really been the case. When somebody works with us at Corridor, they work with us because they want to be here. Everybody here wants to be here. At any point, somebody can leave. We don't want them to. I like them. They're all here. They're amazing at what they do. But I'm not going to force somebody to stay, and I'm not going to...
Not going to force somebody. Not going to control somebody else.
Dangle money over them to make them stay. Money is only goes so far as a motivator. Like, at the end of the day, people need to want to do what they're doing.
At the end of the day, people need to want to do what they're doing.
If you're going to be here, you're here because you want to be. So if you're slacking off, then you clearly don't want to be here, and you should leave.
Seems reasonable. You're not allowed to work here if it's because of reasons. It has to be because of feelings.
And that attitude changes things so significantly.
Oh shit, I should have been recording.
These are all clean now. I'm done cleaning them. Unfortunately.
So notice that guy gave him a little bit of chaos of, oh man, I should have been recording, lol, and his reaction was immediately laughter, not, you jerk, you know. So that's not this. That is this.
This looks like it has some water damage.
Is there a place you can bring to get it fixed or better cleaned?
Probably. Can you see that cloudiness? Start the conversation by asking them, how many shots did you get done a day? How many shots do you think you should be able to get done a day? Does that number line up with the number you gave me? Does it line up with reality? Probably won't. I know how many shots I got done a day, and I know how many shots I think they can get done a day, but that's not for me to say, it's for them to say. Then I'll ask them why. Why?
It's not for me to say, it's for them to say.
Didn't those shots get done? Why wasn't on schedule? What needs to change? And I'll let them come up with the answers.
What are your reasons?
Thing.
Kind of messed things up here in the middle of the day. We actually just ended up shooting in the rain, and everything looks really cinematic because of it.
I'm hitting the point.
How's this weekend going so far? Has this been a fun one?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, I thought the rain would really kind of mess things up here in the middle of the day. We actually just ended up shooting in the rain, and everything looks really cinematic because of it.
That's interesting. So, things did not go the way that he expected. And is he upset about it? No, he rolled with it, with whatever happened, and it was fine.
Yeah.
How's this weekend going so far? Has this been a fun one?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, I thought the rain would really kind of mess things up here in the middle of the day. We actually just ended up shooting in the rain, and everything looks really cinematic. What are you doing here?
Shut down.
Call it.
Making videos, guys.
I got jealous of Ren never having to use his leg muscles, so I need training wheels, and I developed a system. I call it the Razor's Edge. So I'm gonna go play the For
Oh, is
Isma
this for Danny's thing?
Yeah.
The Isma Hawk video?
Yeah, it's
Sharp as always.
Hey, what's up? Pizza.
Don't touch my pizza.
My pizza, that's like... That's classic, don't touch my stuff.
I'm a good actor.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy like really expresses like how fast can you move. We are up against a hard live video. If we don't get next week, video. And you probably know that I'm a big fan of cheese, and I've actually been starting to make my own this year. This is going to now start reacting with the milk. I'll put salt on the outside and then put it in the fridge. And that's it. That's the extent of work. I guess we'll have another cheese party in a couple weeks. Cheese update. And cheeses. How are they coming along? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Problem. Problem. She's no good.
No.
She's no good.
Your first one.
Something's gone wrong.
Your first bad baby.
Something's gone wrong. How about this one? Too wet.
That one's gone too?
Looks like it. I gotta get a dang cheese fridge so I can control the humidity and temperature. This guy's okay.
I need to get a cheese fridge so I can control the temperature and humidity.
But it's still really wet. There's water in here.
That's, you know, more...
Well, let's see what's inside. Ooh. Little creamy. You know, I might have a smile on my face, but I'm legitimately disappointed. I just laugh at life's tragedies, that's all. Here we go.
I laugh at life's tragedies.
Yeah. It's so flat, it's not even worth it. Look at that brown coloring, it's gross. Looks like Corridor Cheese isn't gonna be a new channel anytime soon.
Smellies.
Hi. Hey Carmichael, your girlfriend's here.
Oh no, you're Bree? Oh, I feel like it can only get better with time.
So did I. I was looking forward to that. Hey, you guys want to learn how to do some color grading? Yes? Well, you're in luck because this video is about color grading. I'm about to teach you some really awesome tips and tricks and fundamentals and all the good things you need to know to get really cinematic, good-looking color grades in your footage. Okay, let's get started. Not on the computer. Follow me. You shot a video, right? You got a timeline. You have a whole bunch of little clips, and maybe it looks something like this.
That's interesting. How does he choose to teach? Does he choose to teach in some wacky digital way? No, he chooses to teach based on physical stuff.
Right? This is maybe a clip of a person, a house, in a car, and they're each different types of shots. There are two different stages. There's correction and there's grading, and they go hand in hand. Here's how you should think about organizing your stuff. Like whatever program you're in, it doesn't matter, they all generally offer the same flow. First things first is you want to think of your grade as being something that's going to be applied over the top, like a layer, over everything, at least for the scene that's going to have that grade applied. And then your correction will then be applied on a clip-by-clip level. So the way I like to work is I like to apply my grade first and like go to a shot that's well exposed and kind of dial in my look and then start scrubbing around and see how well that look is holding up to the other shots. Now, if there's a shot that's a little too dark or a shot that has the wrong kind of tint, that's not a big deal. I just do my individual correction for that. And basically at the end of the day, I could wipe out my whole grade and my correction is still gonna basically leave all these shots balanced with each other, which is great because then I can apply a whole new grade later on and it still works. It's still consistent across everything. So let me go show you guys how to do some actual cool grades.
I just got a call from Derek, and apparently his tire wanted to go drive.
Fan. I've never actually...
Good. When you work with Corridor Digital, you better be ready to die.
So apparently we have some fans at LG because they actually sent us a 4K LG monitor. This is actually the UD88. I've never actually used a 4K monitor before. It's really nice, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys are looking for a nice monitor to color grade on, having worked with this monitor for the past week, it gets my endorsement. Here I have just a collection of random shots that we got with this little Blackmagic micro camera. The Blackmagic camera shoots a flat profile. A flat profile is often referred to as a logarithmic profile. It has to do with how the image is scaling the luma values from black to white. At the end of the day, here's all you really need to know. When you're shooting with a flat picture or a log picture, you're preserving as much of your dynamic range as possible, because at the end of the day, if you're already shooting in that contrasty image, you can't go and fix things like underexposure or overexposure because all your shadows will have already been crushed down to black and there's no detail there to bring anything back in. That gives you the room later on to fix things, adjust things, manipulate things as you see fit. The downside is that your footage looks like junk when it comes out of the camera, and that's where color grading comes in. All right, so let's make something that looks good, right? Let's take this really flat footage and make it look nice. So I like to start with a shot that has a human being in it. For example, here we have Sam. And one of the reasons I like to start with a shot with a human being is because we have skin tones. Skin tones are very important when you're color grading. No matter where you go with your footage, whether it goes cool or warm or really contrasty or whatever, at the end of the day, you want the skin to stay slightly reddish orange. And it doesn't matter what race you are.
But it's interesting, though, that he has SF build, maybe, that he wants it to look nice to himself.
Your skin is slightly reddish orange, maybe brighter or darker, but all skins are the same hue across the board. Step one, we're going to add some contrast. A lot of programs have these things called color wheels, so they represent your lows, middles, and highs in terms of your brightness. So I'll take my lows and I'll pull those down a little bit, and I'll take my highs and I'll bump those up a little bit. You usually have something called a scope in your program. In this case, I'm looking at a waveform, which kind of shows me where my values sit. So I can see where my highs are, and I can raise those up and down until, for example, they're touching the top of the graph, which means they're being blown out to white, or they can kind of sit a little bit below. Same thing with your lows. You can raise those up and down. You can see where they are. And generally speaking, the bottom of the graph is black, so once your values are hitting that, they're getting crushed to full black. There's also a contrast dial. You can bump that up a little bit more.
He has a silver BMW and he's stuck in a bad neighborhood in Boyle Heights.
So we want to very desaturated. Desaturated means it doesn't have a lot of color in it. So we want to raise the amount of color in the footage. So I can turn on my saturation just a little bit here. Yeah, it's starting to look nice. It's a little warm. I could color correct the shot just a little bit by like tinting, for example, my whites towards blue just a little bit. There we go. Looks a little bit more natural. Before, after. Before, after. Now I'm in clip view in DaVinci, which will only apply a color grade to a specific clip. I'm actually going to flip over to timeline view, which will apply it to everything. Now I can hop around and see how my grade looks in other shots. Well, the shot of Jake sitting at his desk, before, after, looks pretty good. Let's push it just a little bit further. I'm going to do a simple stylization first. Kind of a classic cinema look is to have slightly blue, cool shadows. So I'm going to take my shadows, and I'm just going to pull this down to kind of a blue direction. Okay, everything looks blue and kind of looks crappy. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction with our midtones. We're going to try to get those skin tones back to that orangish red hue. There we go. And now if I want to do something with my highlights, I can. Maybe make them a little bit cooler, make them a little warmer. I can go green with them. It really comes down to the style of your scene. I'm just gonna go a little cool here. Now because both my shadows and my highlights are going cool, my skin is getting a little faded again. So I'm gonna push it even a little further towards orange. And now I have a little more of an interesting shot where there's a little bit more of like a color cast in my darks. Let's go even further. Let's get really extreme. It's important to know a little bit of your color theory as you work on this kind of stuff. If you look at these color wheels, they basically show you colors that are opposite each other. If you take those two colors and combine them, they cancel each other out. So that's why, for example, I'm taking my midtones and pushing them in the opposite direction of my shadows, because they cancel each other out. And what you end up getting is you get really dark parts of the shadows where my midtones aren't touching or influencing. They stay kind of blue. The upper parts of my midtones where my shadows aren't really influencing things, those get a little more normal, a little more warm. In the middle where they meet, they're kind of transitioning through. That's where you get some interesting color gradients. That's how you can utilize these color wheels to kind of inform yourself of what's happening. That's what learning a little bit of color theory will help you with.
Pecan, yeah, it's right up here. It goes.
Well, you went blow this and just going through now shot by shot and correcting each shot to work under that grade. Brightness, the same color space, the same tonality, evening out all my footage by having a grade over everything and then just doing my individual corrections. And now I can go back to my grade at the end of the day. Let's say I'm talking to my friend, he's like, dude, you should really think about making the shadows green, not blue. I'm like, oh, you're so right. I can just be like, whoop, and now my shadows are green, and it applies to the entire piece. And because everything's been corrected together under that grade, everything still looks good. I don't have to go through shot by shot by shot and refix everything. Whether you're working in Premiere, you're working in DaVinci, you're working in anything else, the whole layer method of doing your correction shot by shot by shot, but then your grade over everything is a great way to organize things. I was working in DaVinci. DaVinci's free, straight up free, so you guys can download it and mess around with color grading in there. If you guys are using Premiere, you'll have access to Lumetri and it's a quick and easy way to kind of replicate all this stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the little color grade tutorial session. It's a very deep world there of options and abilities. I mean, it's color. People have been working with colors for hundreds of years. There's no real right or wrong way to do it. There's just tips and techniques that look good that you can kind of think about. LG, thanks for the nice monitors. It makes my color grades look really good. Do you want to find out how to make the most beautiful, stunning, engaging portraits of your friends or yourself using just your phone camera and no special apps? Well, look no further than this video because I'm about to show you right now. See, what you do is, you take your camera, you go over to pano mode, look up, and when I say go, slowly tilt your head down. All right, let's do it. And make sure you have a goofy expression on your face. Go. They tilt their head, you pano across their face while they move, and they just end up being a thing of beauty.
Oh, dude, Christian.
Oh my goodness. How could anyone not fall in love with a beautiful face like that? In this video, we're going to teach you how to make panos.
Together since sounds bullshit. I don't know who we make
Move things and being captured. You can kind of see it, the panorama, like wiggling the phone back and forth or you're moving your hand. You can see there's a line where it's cutting off and it's capturing things. Use that line and you move things right on that border as it's being captured. So like let's say we're capturing my face and we're scanning down my face and this is that line where it's being captured. If I start moving my face, it's going to warp it. And it's using that trick and those shifts in perspective and warping to get really weird looking things.
Carmichael, you're getting a new profile picture.
All right, we're gonna do the classic panel here. So we're gonna start with you looking up, and I'm going to scan line with. Well, I saw a weird one that people's faces. Carmichael, this time they messed up. A little lick nose. I got a little Hitler scanning for everybody else. Opposite directions. All right, let's do the. This is Jake with like deformed cheekbones. Dude, oh, no. This is Jake like filling up with air.
One of my great grandfathers was a chipmunk.
Boy, I didn't have an net that one of you to hurt just by your friend, my mind. Cause lose your honey.
Oh no. Nobody hear me. Guys, it's gonna be except. Yeah. What's your lead? See this on my sidewalk.
Himself. Jake stays not move, and he'll Jake standing next to a regular Christian. So Christian's gonna stand there. He's going to be just completely normal. He's gonna not move, and he'll look normal in the panorama. But as I scan, Jake is going to lower himself down until I tell him to stop. It'll look like just get it. I mostly got it. So there's a tiny Jake. His knees are a little bent. You can kind of see it. And then there's a normal sized Christian next to him. Jake's gonna start low. No, I tell him he's going to. Makes these look so messed up.
Use encyclopedias to check to one. Dude, little ears. Muzzing like muzzle. Yes. Everything. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop.
Whoa. This long arm Niko. I'm glad I don't look like that in real life. So I want you guys to take some panos and I want to see them. So go ahead and post them on the Corridor subreddit, r/corridor, so I can go check them out. I think all of us in the office here will be heartily laughing at.
Alright, so what's our final verdict here? Let's see. If you squint, it's looking like not blast first. High consume. I don't know, lots of play. But he seems like he's doing a lot of sleep also. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with consume sleep play. It's definitely not being super direct with people. Yeah, so that's my final guess. See you guys later.